When Devin Kelly opened fire on this small clapboard church in Texas, officials say it was not a random target. Kelly deliberately attacked the place where his wife's parents worship. They were not at service on Sunday.
The suspect's mother-in-law attended this church. We know that he had made threatening texts from him. There was a domestic situation going on within the family and the in-laws.
While speeding from the scene, the 26-year-old's final call may have been to his own family.
The suspect used his cell phone to notify his father that he had been shot.
Kelly's recent past was troubled. Court-martialed in 2012 while serving at U.S. Air Force Base Holloman in New Mexico. He was found guilty of beating his first wife and fracturing his baby stepson's skull. The couple later divorced. The military confined Kelly for a year and discharged him for bad conduct. Kelly's court-martial was the military equivalent of a felony conviction, and federal law makes it illegal for anyone with a felony to buy a gun. But records show Kelly purchased 4 guns in the years after his conviction. A Ruger AR-556 assault rifle like this one, used inside the church, 2 handguns found inside his SUV, and a 4th weapon that was not found at the scene. His conviction never came up in his background checks. The Air Force tonight says its criminal investigators failed to put information about Kelly's military conviction into the national database. NBC News also spoke with 2 former girlfriends who say Kelly's behavior was obsessive and at times threatening.
There was one day, though, that he just would not stop calling me.
How many times did you say he called you during that day?
I would say probably like 30 back to back.
Brittany Adcock met Kelly 9 years ago when she was 13. The repeated calls started after she broke up with him.
Yeah, it made me nervous.
Kelly had trouble at work. As recently as this summer, he was fired from a nearby water park. Park confirming that he worked as an unarmed security guard for just 5.5 weeks.
Tonight, the Air Force announced that it is opening a review of how Devin Kelly's criminal record was handled. Meanwhile, here outside his parents' home, where he's believed to have lived, it remains an active crime scene.
Hey, NBC News fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here, and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.